this year, 2013, has proven to be very lucky for the Cardinals. First, a Sugar Bowl win versus the Gators started off 2013. And just when the last week, we all traveled to Atlanta to watch our men's basketball team go win a national championship. I returned to Louisville late that Monday night, came into work, got practice started on Tuesday, and we all traveled down to New Orleans to watch our women compete for a national championship team against a good Connecticut team. From lacrosse to swimming to baseball to softball, all the programs here have continued to rise. Congratulations to both Rick Pitino and Jeff Walsh for the record-setting seasons. They too have proven 13 is just the right number for the Cardinals. Tom Jurich has proven he can build a winner here at Louisville. A Cardinal athletic family we're very proud of. We're still basking in the glow of accomplishments for our hardwood, but today we start talking about the turf. I think Vince Lombardi said it the best. The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. With 19 starters back, we certainly have shown not the lack of will at spring practice. Our football team knows what is ahead of them, and they will continue to get better. They have continued to get better in the spring. Offensively, we return a lot, starting with the quarterback position. Teddy just continues to get better and better. Now with the backups, Gardner and Nelson, we have a ways to go. You have two quarterbacks that have not taken a snap. And the only time they've really taken a snap is in spring. Never been in front of a game at all. Never been in front of a large crowd at all. So we're expecting tomorrow to put them in front of that crowd and just see how they react. At the running back position, it's so pleasant to see Brown come back. You know, Dominique has really ran the ball very well. Is a very physical runner, and he's shown it in the spring. And Ratcliffe has battled an injury, but it's good to see where Ratcliffe had come back. And the thing about Rad, you're looking at two different backs. You know, Dominique's is a big back, the big back that you really love, run behind his pads. Ratcliffe is a smaller version of Dominique, but just don't have that power. You know, Corbin Lamb is nursing an injury. Sonoris Perry is also an injury. But we have a fullback in Sharp who's played a lot this spring and has gotten a lot of good work in for us. The wide receiver position is probably going to be the strength of our football team. If you look at what we have coming back at wide receiver, you get Parker back, you get Copeland back, you get Eli Rogers, Jared Davis, Kai, and then with the addition of Robert Clark has made that group really, really solid. Milton is nursing an injury right now, but we were able to get a look at 7 good players. And the thing you look at Parker is just, you know, with the size and how well he plays and his speed is so deceiving, but just how he competes. And Copeland is a guy that can just run past people, a big play receiver. So if you look at that position, it's probably the strength of our position is that wide receiver. Then at tight end, you know, you look at what we did last season. We took B.J. Butler and Harrington and moved them late to the tight end position. They're actually found a home there because they're going to stay there at tight end. And then you look at getting Gerald Christian, the Hubble, taking Zeke Pike. But now, you know, you think about last season, we didn't have enough. I think we had Nord, we had Hubble, and we had Chris White. We had 3 tight ends. Now we have 7, and 7 that look very well. And we want to run the football, so you have guys that, you know, you can take Jalen, you can move him around. You could take Gerald Christian, you can move him around. But we're really solid. We really have gotten a really good, solid addition with Gerald Christian, and with Jalen playing a year. You know, getting him some game time in now, springtime in because of the games, and with also B.J. Butler. But B.J. got a little, I think maybe a week ago, got an injury there with his ankle, but he'll be back. We're not worried about that. And then the offensive line, you lose a really good player in Mario, you lose a really good player in Cup, and now you have Brown coming back, you have Miller, you have Jake Smith. You know, the guys that really got to come on for us now is Georgia. Mack needs to come on. Garcia needs to come on. But if we want to run the football, we know this. The game has to be won up front. And those guys have got, our offensive line has got, they've gotten bigger, they've gotten stronger. Now it's all about just the game speed and just the knowledge of the game. And that's where, you know, you got to find. Last year, Mario and Cup was the anchor. You know, Cup was the anchor there. We got to find us an anchor at the offensive line position. Defensively, you lose one starter. You lose Bouchel from a year ago. And with our defense on the front this year, we have a lot of guys that are injured. You know, I think about that list of guys. You have Phylon, you have Mount, you have Marcus Smith, you have Big Brooks, and you have Rankin. There's 6 players there that all played for us last season that are injured. But this spring, Brandon Dunn has had a chance to get better. Malden, I don't know if there's a player on our team that goes harder than him. You can tell my man to slow down. He don't know what slow means. He just continues to go hard. DeBose is a player that's gotten bigger and has been able, with the weight he's put on, he's been able to carry that weight very well for us. D'Angelo Brown, Pedro is a young player that's gotten a lot of work for us. Dawson and Middleton, we took Dawson, moved him from backer to move him down. I think Dawson is up to 265 right now. So we moved him from backer to an outside linebacker position for us. And then you look at our linebackers. I don't know. We're expecting a lot out of Preston Brown. I think that Preston now has matured a lot. Preston is a starter. He's been a starter for 3 years, and I just expect him now to become the leader of that defense. Because you always want your Mike Backer to be the leader because of who he is and just how, the reason why he needs to be the leader, because he's the most vocal. So you want your most vocal player to be the leader of your defense. Now with Burgess, Keith Brown, Durant, Deion Rogers, you look at Burgess, Keith Brown shared a starting role last season. Durant played a lot for us. But that's another, you talk about strengths on your team, that's another strength of your team there when you look on the defensive side of the ball. And then you look at the DBs, T. Floyd, Reeve, we're moving Gaines back from wide receiver to defensive back, Drew Johnson, the safety position. Probably you have the 2 best safeties in this conference, without a doubt, when you look at Akeem Smith and Pryor. And I told Pryor and I told Akeem both, just like with Preston, expect to be the leaders of this defense. You guys have played a lot of football now, so it's time for you to step up now with Holloman and Houchins getting a chance here this spring to get a lot of work in. And then our kicking game, you get Wallace back, you get Nakatani back, you get Ryan Johnson, you get Appleby, you get your deep snapper back and Grant Donovan. So we're returning a lot. A lot's going to be said about this football team. The thing this team needs to do is it's still all about work for us. And I tell them all the time, you're going to go against probably the best quarterback in the country defensively. So let's make sure that just defensively we get better, because he's going to make us better. In our offense, they're going against a really good defense. So it's all about us competing against ourselves and us not getting full of ourselves. And we had to become a consistent football team. And that's what we try to get this spring, just consistently each day that we went out, make sure that we go out to work and we're just not punching the clock, where we're just going through the motions. It's all about getting better. And that's the only way is if we stay humble and stay hungry, then there's no telling what this team can go. But we had to stay hungry and stay humble before that